Frankie go with the shoulder, and I'm sure Hubert Earl will say something to him about that. And he does. Hey, you can't use your shoulder here, my friend. Now, this again is a pretty good round for Amaral. He stayed real busy. And Frankie had better nail this guy with a shot and don't let him turn this thing around. I mean, I know you people in Brazil would love to see Amaral win this thing, but speaking as a guy watching the champion, if he doesn't want to lose his title, he better do exactly what he's doing now. Amaral hangs right in there, and he gets like a little rush of adrenaline as he gets hit. Frankie uses that shoulder again. And the bell ends round number 7. That was a pretty good round again for Amaral. Let's see how it goes in round number 8. This is scheduled for 12 rounds. Bob Sheridan here on King Vision from Stuttgart, Germany. This is the 12-round WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. This is scheduled for 12 rounds. Frankie Liles in the white trunks and Maurício Amaral in black. Amaral has come on a little bit in the 6th and 7th, but Frank Liles still doing a mighty fine job in there. Again, the judges are from Panama, Puerto Rico, and Mexico this time. If you joined us late for some reason, didn't see the IBF Featherweight Championship, Tom Johnson retained his title, and a brilliant effort by Jose Yungo Badillo. Johnson got the majority decision in what was a very unpopular decision, and myself personally, I thought that Badillo did enough to win it too, but Johnson defended his title for the 8th time in a really good effort by Badillo. And this one, Frank Liles is out in front in the fight. Maurício Amaral has been coming on in the last couple of rounds, but Liles is just settling in and outboxing the guy right now. See him tie him up and then actually turn his back. That's not such a good idea to turn your back away from a guy like that. You can be clipped in the back of the head. He can be penalized by a point, but I'll tell you, if a guy bangs you in the back of the head below those suboccipital bones, you can have a real problem recovering from it no matter what happens. Never turn your back for you youngsters that are learning to fight out there or early in your career. Of course, in the case for Luis Santana, he turned his back one time on Terry Norris and got hit in the back of the head and ended up winning a title as he was carried out of the ring. So that's the other point of view. This is the 8th round of a scheduled 12-round world title fight for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And again, Amaral tries to land a shot. It clips the ear of the champion, and Amaral continues to come on, continues to be busy, and as awkward as he is from time to time, he does look pretty good. Amaral, again, and one thing about him that I don't like is the way he paws with that left. He just puts it out there kind of like, well, that's what you have to do to throw the right hand. And then he twists his body around. He moves his trunk to the right, and then he'll throw the left hand. He's a tough guy to fight, I got to tell you. A tough guy to fight because he is so awkward. Frank totally outboxed him through for the first 5 rounds, and I'll tell you one thing, Amaral has come on a little bit in the 6th and 7th and making a bit of fight out of this thing. Again, it's not that crowd-pleasing type of fight because of the fact it's a world title fight. It hasn't got the Germans' interest here in Stuttgart. They're appreciative. They clap at the end of the rounds, but again, if this fight was taking place in Sao Paulo, Brazil, or in Syracuse, New York, where Frankie Liles hails from, you'd be hearing a lot of noise. And there's the approval at the end of the round as you look at Frankie Liles.
He's going to come out trying to win that big right hand, okay? How you be aware of that. Now, Frankie.
All right, we show you some action here from the early going in the round number 8, and we see that we've got the challenger coming on quite a bit. And for Frankie, again, you'll be looking for this straight right hand coming through by Amaral, and he catches the champ. And he catches it pretty good and spins ahead. Just handed a note here that the Panamanian judge who was supposed to judge this fight was replaced by the WBC officials. And we have the Thai official from Thailand here. And in Thailand, they love their boxing, and many of our Don King Productions fights go down to Thailand, so we're glad to have Pinit, and I wouldn't even attempt to pronounce his last name, but you know who he is if you're watching in Thailand. He's with us tonight, and we're glad to have him here. Here we go to round number 9 of Sheridan here on King Vision. The WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the world here. And Amaral has been coming on a little bit through 6, 7, and 8. And Frankie Liles has got to do something to turn this thing right back in his favor, because he was cruising to the first 5. I don't know if Amaral did in fact win that 6th round. I thought he won the 7th, and I thought he won the 8th. We're in round 9, and if my scoring is indicative of the way it's going, if the judges see it that way, then Frankie Liles had better start picking up the pace and get this thing right back in his favor again. Liles, again, a veteran of going 12 rounds. In his last half a dozen fights, he's gone 12 rounds 4 times, where Amaral has only been 12 rounds twice in his career. And once was in 94, the other time was way back in 1992. Twice in his career. This is the 9th round. Every time Frankie does something now, you see Amaral showing the ability to tie him up inside, and now the referee, Hubert Earl of Canada, says, hey, I don't want you hanging on and hitting. It's been a clean fight to this point. We want to keep it that way. And you see Amaral comes on, and Frankie's got his hands full right now. I'll tell you right now. And remember, the scoring in the first fight between Tom Johnson and Jose Jungo Badillo was a little bit different than the way I saw the fight, at least by 2 judges. And as I say that, the champ does come on. Wow, with the left hand goes Frankie. Frankie tries to clip him with that right hand. Instead, he goes with that left hand, and Amaral's legs maybe. Oh, that time he calls it a slip, though. And it was a slip. It was a good call by the referee. No question about it. He bounced down and bounced up just as quick. But Frank clips him again with the left hand. And this is what Frankie had to do. This fight was cruising almost like Frankie was going to sleep by this guy coming on, and all of a sudden Frankie just got a shot of adrenaline and got pumped up. I don't like the way he put his head down that time. That's a fatigue factor thing too, when a guy puts his head down and hangs on like that. He tries to spin him around and then bang him into the ear. Now Frankie had to do exactly what he was doing here in the 9th round, because Amaral was beginning to really show some signs of trying to take this championship away from him through 6, 7, and 8. We're in the 9th round. You see the closing seconds now of the 9th. All right. So Frankie does turn the 9th round back around in his favor again. And the crowd appreciates. All right, here we go to the 10th round. I've got Liles out in front in this fight, but he needs to continue to do what he did in that ninth round, because I thought Amaral had some good rounds through 6, 7, and 8, and he doesn't want Amaral to sneak up on him and surprise him. So this is the 10th round. Bob Sheridan here on King Vision. The champion of the WBA and the super middleweight division is Frankie Liles to the right of your screen. And you see he's trying to put this guy away right now. I think he realizes that he's got to do something and stay busy with him. Liles looks to bounce that right hand up the forehead and then throw the big, powerful left hand to catch the champ and catch the challenger, rather, and knock him down. Both guys have been down, but neither guy was scored being knocked down. They both slipped, got the attention of the crowd. But right now, Frank Liles is coming on nice and strong. He's showing that he's got a second win, showing that he's in tremendous condition. At age 30, he's got himself in great shape. And you can be sure, as you take a look at that body of Amaral, that he's in tremendous condition. He's got the washboard-type stomach. Frank Liles, again, looking to land that big left hand. Liles in the white trunks, the reigning WBA super middleweight champion of the world, and he aims to keep that title. Amaral from Brazil would love to take it back to the rainforest with him. I guarantee you some people in Sao Paulo would be mighty proud of this guy. They're proud of him anyway, but they'd be ever so much more pleased if he could win this title. He's got to continue the pace that he had going through 6, 7, and 8, because Frank turned things around, and we showed you the slow replay. And that time, Frank almost trips him when he steps on that front foot and then pushes him away. Do anything to make the guy awkward. And those are the types of things that can intimidate a fighter that hasn't been in the type of competition that Frank Liles has been in. Liles, a veteran of championship fights, and he realizes that this is his belt, and this guy isn't going to take it away from him. And he's tough to hit as Amaral because he's so awkward. He gets his arms up in the air when you come in on him, and he ties you up. He does a lot of good things. You can see why he's been successful fighting in his own native land of down there in Brazil. He's got an awful lot of wins down there. Record of 23-2 with 19 KOs, and ranked high in the rankings by both the WBF and the WBA as well. He's ranked number 2. Wow, with the left hand goes Frank. Frank spanks him with the right hand, clips him with the light left to the right ear of Amaral. And Amaral's arms look a little bit weary right now. Now he lifts him back up underneath the chin. And you see as he paws out with not much power, he switched around and southpaw for just a second there and then realized what he was doing. And you see Frank come on. He's really showing fatigue for the first time. I mean, definite fatigue for the first time in the fight is Amaral. And again, as I look at Amaral's record, he's been 12 rounds on the 2 occasions in his career, and hasn't been 12 rounds since 1994. And that been much more busy in the 10th round. This 11th round is kind of up for grabs again, a point where Liles wants to stop these awkward punches of Amaral and try to land a short, crisp hand and then get that big left hand in there on Amaral. Neither fighter has been officially down. Both fighters have slipped at different times during the course of the fight, but that has no influence on the scoring at all. It'll get your attention, though, when you see a guy drop to the canvas. And Frank catches him in the heart, catches him up by the left ear. And with all the hard punches that Amaral throws, very little lands. Little tap on the chin by Frankie that time. Frankie looking, you see the way, again, Amaral paws with the left hand. That's why he's not effective in holding Frank off. And he has to go to that big looping hand, and every once in a while he'll land it. But it's so awkwardly thrown, it doesn't hurt him. That time it looked like Frankie almost staggered the challenger. But showing the good legs and showing the conditioning, he was able to recover from a short, crisp left hand thrown by the champ. You see that big looping left is all Amaral's really been able to land, and he misses with it again. He digs down with the right hand, and he paws it to left. Frank comes in, bangs him with the left hand, back upstairs with the right, hits him with another left on the chin, bounces the left hand, misses the left hand that time, bounced the right off his forehead, missed the left. Frank digs down to the heart with the right hand, the jab, and you see Amaral again tries to paw off with that left hand. They get inside, and Frank ties him up. Again, it's Frankie controlling the pace of the fight. He's making the thing go the way he wants. Goes with the left hand lead that time, bangs him off the forehead, bangs him off the nose, digs underneath the heart, does Frankie. Frankie Liles avoids the right hand, catches him with a crisp left hand and a right uppercut and another left hand. So Frank Liles is outscoring the challenger, Maurício Amaral. Amaral is game. He's tough, but he's just not showing the kind of ability that Frankie Liles has at this stage in the fight. This is the closing seconds now of the 11th round. And another good round for Frank Liles.
You see at the end of the round, he was finished.
You got 3 minutes, Bill.
Yeah.
You got 3 minutes.
Make a good knockout in this one. That's it.
Take him over.
Okay, Frankie, he's going to come out real aggressive.
All right, we've got a replay for you here. We'll show you it's all Frankie Liles in this, the 11th round. Look at that. He really loads up that left hand. And remember, that's the power hand for Frankie. That's like your orthodox fighter landing a big, powerful right hand. Somehow or other, when a southpaw throws, it doesn't look that powerful, but by golly, it is. Nice shot landed by Frankie again. And these replays are really showing you a great job by our camera crew and our director catching these shots, because it's really giving you a good indication of the flow of the fight. And that's what it should be all about. All right, here we go to the 12th and final round. The WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World, the 168-pound belt on the line in the WBA. Frankie Liles and Maurício Amaral. Frankie Liles had things his way through 5. Then Amaral came on through the middle rounds. And Frankie Liles has come back through 9, 10, and 11. And here we are in the 12th round. In my opinion, Amaral would need a knockout to beat Frankie Liles. I remember what happened in the last fight where we thought Badillo had stolen the fight when he knocked down Tom Johnson. But Tommy Johnson, the boom boom man, ended up with a majority decision and retained the IBF featherweight title, the 126-pound division. But this is a different story. It's more clear, not as many even rounds at all. Frank Liles has really controlled the pace of the fight. He's outboxed him. He's thrown more punches. He's avoided more. He showed better ring generalship. He's shown better defense. The awkward Amaral has been game at times. He's landed some what looked like heavy blows, but he throws his punches so awkwardly against the slick-moving Frankie Liles, who knows how to slip a punch. He hasn't been real successful. Frankie looks like he's got the adrenaline flow going pretty well now. Both guys, when you see those arms out there flailing like that, you know that there's a lot of fatigue factor at this stage, but both are in tremendous condition and probably could drop one another if they were to land a flush punch. At this stage, I really doubt it, though. Neither guy has been down. Neither fighter has really been shaken. We're midway through now, the 12th and final round of this fight. A good effort by Amaral, but I think he's going to come up a little bit short to Frank Liles. Liles trying to finish strong and make the judges go his way, because he realizes that his championship is on the line. And in his third title defense, it looks like he's made it a successful one as he bounces the head back of Maurício Amaral. Amaral has been game. He's never really been visibly shaken during the course of the fight. He was staggered what looked like just a little bit. His legs went on the end of one big punch by Frank Liles, but nothing real serious. Liles, when he throws that jab, is very effective. He works off of that time, lands the left hand, wild as Amaral with his. Now Amaral catches him with the left hand. Both guys flailing the punches. The mouthpiece is out of Amaral, and Frank Liles is moving on as now the challenger has to hang on. Amaral's mouthpiece is down, and I don't think that the referee realizes it, or he would have put it back in at that stage. And you see that the challenger is actually in a bit of trouble as the blood trickles from his nose, that he is very much more fatigued than is Frank. Frank realizes he's got his man in a bit of trouble here as we are in the side of the 22nd mark right now of the 12th round. And this round has been a good round for Frank Liles. Liles doing the heavy scoring here in the 12th. And now the gloves touch down there, and he has to score it as a knockdown. And that will definitely solidify it for Frank Liles as Amaral is scored down in the 12th round. And just very Johnny on the spot as the bell sounds, ending the fight, kind of a lackluster finish there. But the referee did exactly the right thing. A lot of refs will let a guy slide with that, but the rule is if the hand goes down and you have to be held up with your hands, that it is a knockdown. And a referee, Hubert Earl, did exactly the right thing in beginning the count. So it looks like Frankie Liles will retain his title here, as you certainly will get a 10-8 round out of that final round, which means, let me just see what I've got for a score here. I get it 8, 9, 10, 11. I get it 117 to 111 in favor of Liles. And you look at the action, the closing round of the fight, and it's a difficult fight. Remember, the official scoring now will be done by a Thai judge, fellow from Thailand, and Samuel Condi from Puerto Rico, and Enzo Montero from Mexico. As we look at the action here from the closing round of the fight. And that's why he scored him down, because that glove, you saw it very clearly there, went down. We're waiting for the officials to get the scorecards together, and as soon as we have it, we'll have the official announcement for you. I believe that Frankie Liles should definitely get a unanimous decision win here, but I was definitely surprised when the officials gave it to Tom Johnson over Jose Jungo Madillo in the last fight. Here we go.
And now the decision. Judge Conde counts it. 118 Liles, 110 Amaral, 118 zu 110. Judge Pineda counts it. 119 Liles.